Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, that took a few minutes. Literally, spring training just got underway, and our best pitcher, our ace, is already sidelined. What do you know? So Mets like. You can't even make this up. It's like, this is like, honestly, we could have all expected this. The only person who probably didn't expect it this soon is David Stern and Steve Cohen. Okay, now it's very frustrating. I don't know how to really react. Obviously, we shouldn't overreact, but here's the deal. He's a guy, Kodai Senga, who was signed to a value contract last year. Everybody was like, wow, clap hands. He had a Cy Young potential year last year, and he was signed to $15 million a year. Like, oh my God, how did the Mets pull that off? Well, the reason why the Mets were able to pull off something like that is because there was worry, there was concern that Kodai could potentially get hurt. He pitched an awful lot of innings in Japan, an awful lot of innings. And you know what? It's been very common for people to come over from Japan and have arm issues. Go do Tommy John, and it's just very frustrating. So what's next? What now? Okay, now here we go. With the amazing depth that David Stearns has amassed, it looks like Quintana is our ace for the time being, right? So let's just say, it turns out to be, worse than it is. And honestly, the reason why I'm frustrated is because he's got arm fatigue. How does he have arm fatigue? The spring training literally just started. It just started. What did he throw? 100 pitches, a couple hundred pitches? I don't understand it. Like his arm couldn't even withstand minimal workload. A minimal workload. I mean, he's eventually going to have a major league workload. Okay, now you could be saying, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. He's got to ramp things up, and it happens with pitchers. It does. But you know what? It's a concern nonetheless because this were things that other teams were concerned about. They were concerned about workload. They were concerned about the fact that he may have Tommy John in the future. I don't know if it's anything of that magnitude. We hope it's not. According to Bleacher Report, he's going for an MRI, so we're going to get more details in the very near future. We can only speculate right now. We can only speculate. But also, if we project forward, the reason why I've been clamoring for another ace. A month ago, I said you gotta get another bullpen arm. We did. We got a couple more bullpen arm. You gotta get a DH, and you gotta get another ace. The reason why I want another ace is because you cannot heap all this pressure on Kodai Senga to basically the workload. The guy can only pitch realistically every 6 days. So this guy, your ace, cannot even go every 5 days. He can't. As good as he is, you cannot put that much stress. He is going to be on a pitch count, an innings count. That's just a fact of the matter of having Kodai Senga. So if you have a guy like that who is ultra talented, but he's going to be on an innings limit and a pitch limit because of the stress that his shoulder has already endured throughout his career, you need to have a proper backup if you're going to compete. That means you need to have a good number two, right? That's why I put out a video today clamoring for Jordan Montgomery. Now, I'm not saying Jordan Montgomery is a backup ace. I'm saying he's a very solid pitcher, and if we could take advantage of the market where we don't have to pay him 5 years, pay him on a 3-year contract around $20 million, that is something I would highly explore. Possibly 2-year contract with an option for a 3rd year. Get damn creative, David Stearns. You got to do it because your depth plan has Jose Quintana as the ace right now. And everybody who's saying, well, you have Luis Severino. I'm not going to pencil in any guy who had around a 7-year rate as my ace. I mean, that even looks even worse. Now, I know there's potential that Luis Severino can make fine-tune whatever he was doing, tipping pitches and whatnot, but here's the deal. Quintana, in my opinion, pitched the best out of the rest. He's going to be the ace, in my opinion. So if you want to have your number two as Severino or Manaya, have at it. Have at it. I'm not impressed with any of them. They're all question mark. All question mark. We've assembled a team with all question mark. And everybody, who goes to Citi Field, who has to pay an arm and a leg, you know what? The offense may be decent. The bullpen may be decent. But it's all about pitching and the starting rotation at the end of the day. You don't have any starting rotation, your bullpen's going to have to work that much harder. You don't have a good starting rotation, you better score a really great amount of runs. A great amount of runs, because I'm telling you right now, it is going to get ugly if we don't have good starting pitching. And it's so obvious. It's so obvious. It's actually the thing in the last 10 years. And, a lot of people didn't like Stanley Alderson. But the thing in the Stanley Alderson regime, they knew that they had to build around the starting pitchers. They never bulked up their lineup. They never got the extra relievers they should have got. They never got any elite relievers. Familia was always that best guy in the bullpen, but it was a different problem in that regime. But they did have a decent starting rotation. They did. Now, and I know everybody's saying, well, David Stearns just got there. I'm not even thinking about David Stearns. Steve Cohen got here 3 years ago. We put a lot of money into the team. Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, and this was a couple years ago, folks, a couple years. This was the time when you were supposed to be developing your prospects so that we could have potential pitchers coming up to help us. And I know we got Mike Vassell, Dominic Hamill, Christian Scott. I know there is a list of pitchers, but we don't have any highly touted pitchers that are really you could pencil into the rotation right now, or that you can 100% count on. They are all question marks, more and more question marks, right? So, how many question marks can you have on a team? Really, how many question marks can you have on a team? So David Stern, in my opinion, has amassed a heck of a lot of question marks. We probably have the most question marks in the National League East, on a team that said our goal is to compete for a playoff spot. I gotta think that David Stearns is a very intelligent guy. He's the way he thinks about baseball is different than the way all of us think about baseball. And he's been a very successful executive. So I don't want to say, hey, you know what, we know more than him, obviously. But it just seems blatantly obvious that winning this year doesn't seem like it's the priority at this moment, February 21st, 2024, because a lot of these things can be seen by all of us. We all knew that Kodai Senga was at risk to have a tired arm or potential arm problem. If he, even if this is nothing, and let's just say in May, now he does have to go through Tommy John, like he continues to have a tired arm and he tries to pitch through it and now he hurts himself. This is not good. This is not good. Let's just say there's an important game, an important series. He has a tired arm. It's not good that we start up the season or start up the preseason and the guy has a tired arm. And I know I may be, considering blowing it out of proportion, but it is not good. This is our ace on a staff where we have very little pitching, very little talent. And, it's not like we have Jacob deGrom. We had Noah Syndergaard when he was good. We had Matt Harvey when he was good. We have Zach Wheeler, who's up and coming. All we have is Kodai Senga. That's all we have. That was the only legit guy that we had. So I hope that the MRI doesn't show any structural damage. I hope that it's just a tired arm. But even the fact that his arm is tired, when he hasn't really done anything, that is really worrisome. So I don't know what to tell you. The guy's getting older. He's 31 years old. In MLB experience, maybe he's a 35-year-old pitcher, a 36-year-old pitcher. There's a lot of mileage on his arm, and this was all known. Everybody in the Mets organization knew that Kodai Senga threw a lot of pitches, and they're like, he's our ace. and we're going to make the playoffs. We're going to compete for a playoff spot. And our vision for 2024 is still a World Series. Who are you trying to fool? You can't advance with no rotation. Now, if you sign a Jordan Montgomery, if you maybe make another trade, and if two of your players, your free agent signings, turn out to be something, and Kodai Senga is not badly hurt, yeah, but you have to do something different. And hopefully some of the prospects that we have, like I mentioned, a Vassell, a Hamill, a Christian Scott, some of these guys, hopefully they not shock the world, but at least are ahead of schedule. Okay, so those are my quick thoughts about Kodai Senga. If you're not subscribed, you got to subscribe. MLB season is quickly approaching. We're going to be ramping things up. Just January, end of January, February, it's usually a dead time in baseball, so it wasn't much going on. But now it looks like we're going to have to really dissect how we're going to put a winning product out there, because I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up because unless they wave the white flag like they did in the middle of the year, which if you really think about it, if you think about 2022, it was pathetic. We had the best, we had the highest payroll in MLB, and by mid-June, we were out of it. We were out of it. By mid-June, we were out of it. That is insane. And now we're using those same superstars to tell our fans that we're going to have a playoff team. We're coming back with Alonso. Yes, I love Alonso. Coming back with Lindor. We just have to build around them, and the whole rest of the team has to get better. But I'm focused on the starting pitching. I'm going to keep focused on the starting pitching. Last year, we were supposed to have a good starting rotation. We didn't. And as a result, losing streaks became bigger losing streaks. Winning streaks, we were never able to have winning streaks. It was just horrendous. I just hope we're not going to go through that, and I hope that this is a lesson right now. If we have an opportunity to acquire a Montgomery at a reasonable price, it may be worth it. We are already over the luxury tax. I repeat, we are already over the luxury tax. If you need to get creative with a contract, get creative with a contract. We've seen the Dodgers get creative with the contract. We've seen in the past the Washington Nationals get creative with the contract. They're still playing Max Scherzer to this day, but at least they got creative. At least they were able to acquire a Max Scherzer when he was good. So that's my message. Like I said, like, subscribe, share. MLB fans, baseball fans, I appreciate you so much. With the Mets, I'm going to go back to my saying, it can't get any worse, but it probably will. Oh, no, I haven't been saying that in a while, but oh, my God, it starts already. Hopefully, this is going to be the most negative story of the preseason, but something tells me it's not. Last season we had Diaz injured. This season we potentially have Kodai Senga. All right. I will talk to you soon.